Today we have a professional who actually comes with 20 plus years of experience, and Zifar comes with 24 plus years of experience, and he actually has been working mostly on market analysis and databases with VB forms and Python scripting and TypeScript. So those are his main key areas, and he's looking forward to enhance his portfolio so that he could be involved in more of leveraging his existing skills so that it is leading him to industry relevance. So I think without much further ado, Super, yes, please go about explaining what you've been doing so far, and all the way from your start, what kind of experience you've had. So as far as I understand, you've been mostly a VB Forms kind of a programming person who's been out and out doing all of those kind of activities, and including that, what other areas of architecture have you touched upon? Front end, back end, databases, and things like that here. So you can walk us through your experience. You can even share your screen also. So,
Yeah, so basically, I've worked in a variety of roles, mostly related to
share your
operations
screen as well.
and
I will allow screen sharing, so you can even share your resume or something. So all of that will be masked, so we don't have to worry about that.
I don't have my resume online right
Okay,
now.
so let me
Is that
just
okay?
actually let me. Oh, yeah, it's okay if you can. Yeah, you don't need to. You can just start off from what's there in your mind memory, and from there we'll take it off.
Yeah. So uh, I have around 23 years plus years of experience, and I started off uh, being a part of a BPO industry initially, and I have completed my graduation in Bachelor of Science in Information Technology, majoring in project management from University of Mumbai. Uh, so initially, my experience was with a BPO industry, but mostly in a technical process. And after that, I started doing some freelance work along with it. I am basically a core VBA developer with expertise in VBA for MS Office products as well as SQL. And along with it, I have experience with various scripting languages like TypeScript, VBScript, JScript. Uh, I have also worked in as a majorly worked in operations as a project manager for a couple of years, and I was handling a team of uh, technical representatives who were majorly looking at automating reports for various teams in operations, and we were basically catering to different types of reports that were mostly Excel based or PowerPoint based, and we were automating using different backend as well as front end applications like SQL, SQL Server, Azure, Snowflake, SharePoint, Microsoft Automate, Microsoft Power BI, and of course VB and Python. I've also have experience with TypeScript language, and I've used it along with Microsoft Automate to automate various uh, workflows. Along with project management, I have team management as well as product management skills. So I had the opportunity to lead uh, um, um, uh, and handle stand-up calls with different development teams who were basically Java based, doing front end as well as back end. Yeah, that's the major skills that I have.
So your last role was more as a consultant, programmer, or you were a project manager, product manager? What exactly is fitting the last role? So,
So my last role was as a consultant project manager, where I was handling a team of VBA professionals, VBA developers who were working on different projects. But one of our main projects was with for a company, for a multinational company who was into um, medical equipments.
okay. So, it involved managing a team of around 10 people, 5 people, or what is it?
Around 5 people. Yeah,
Around 5 people. Okay. And
yeah,
were you using any agile methodologies like Scrum, extreme programming, test-driven role?
exactly. Yeah, yeah.
So was it Scrum or was it safe or was it some
No,
type
it was agile. Yeah,
of agile? But what
yeah.
flavor of agile were you using?
We were using uh, what do you call Jira?
Jira. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. So you used to have daily stand-ups and Scrum retrospectives, all the stuff.
yeah, yeah.
The product owner was based in India or was he outside of India?
No, the product owner was based in the US.
In the US. So your requirements
Yeah,
used to come from the US.
yeah. We
Okay.
were working US hours.
You're working US hours. So which means you used to actually have calls in the
Evening.
and so on. So was it a distributed Scrum team or it's mostly a development team is in India and only the product
Uh,
owner?
the development team was in India, mostly uh, from South India.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. And
it is again one of the. It's a multinational company, Indian multinational company.
okay. And what about the did you have proper DevOps as a culture there? Like, so was a CI/CD integration all in place, or it was a hybrid of you have to automate the release and delivery process? What
No,
are
no. The release we did not touch on that actually. We were it was already
you're
in
only
place for us.
really concerned with
Yeah,
your development, and there's also
that's right.
CI/CD pipeline which will take care of the rest of the process.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
That was handled by different team actually. So
Okay.
we were not um, aligned with them.
Sure. And they would ask you typically things like, as a product manager, product owner, product manager, apart from being project manager, what were your key responsibilities that you shouldered with the team? Can you highlight one or two instances wherein you were responsible for changing the direction of the product or a solution that was, although it came from the US? So what was your role towards enhancing some of those requirements? You're going to be asked in that direction when you go for interviews. So one is you can pitch your role as a senior programmer or a individual contributor, kind of an expert programmer kind of a thing. The other one,
Hmm.
you can pitch yourself as a project manager, and the other one is you can pitch as a product manager. So all three things are quite possible with your experience and with your roles and responsibilities that you handle. So if somebody were to ask you, as a project manager, can you highlight some key decisions that you took which actually help the team progress further towards the stated goals and objectives? You should be prepared for those kind of answering those kind of queries and questions. So
Hmm.
what do you think comes to your mind when you are asked this kind of a question? Because let us say you apply, because what happens with your role, you don't have to stick to your VB forms and stuff. You say you're a domain expert, you know about market research analysis, you have done a little bit of retail work, you've done some supply chain and things like, and then that's how you position your resume. And if you can move into becoming a project manager or a solution architect kind of a thing, or you could also pitch in yourself as a product owner kind of a thing. So in that, if that happens, then you'll have to be aware of what are the people process, the technology dynamics of how they work in projects. So they will ask you, you can pitch your, so what are you at this stage in your career, what are you more inclined towards? So do you want to continue as an IC which is an individual contributor or a project manager or a product owner manager slash thing or a solution architect? Which of the kind of interests you more? So I understand you've been very hands-on for a long time and you still are interested in probably continuing that way. But given these options, which one aligns with you more?
I like to be an individual contributor actually.
Individual contributor.
I love to program and work on my own terms.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Then that's good. Actually, you can still continue that way, but then you'll have to. VBA forms is slightly outdated in terms of the industry relevance, I would say. So what you might have to do is you showcase your. Are you familiar with JavaScripting, Node.js? Because I think once you know any scripting,
Yeah.
you can pick up any other scripting in a short time. In a matter of a short while, you can pick up any other scripting also. Uh,
Yeah.
once you know that. So you just see with VB forms, VBA macros, whatever is closer to that in the Java world or in the .NET world also, whatever is a form like .NET scripting or as you said, Power BI perhaps, or it is Microsoft Automate, PowerShell scripting, PowerShell, which is there from Microsoft. So whatever is easy for you to leverage, I would suggest that you kind of lay your hands on those kind of scripting domains, and typically you kind of leverage those things. But along with that, people expect you to know the basics of team dynamics, of how things work in a scrum environment, how architecture works, how design works, how do you create a design document, how do you manage stakeholder expectations, and how do you eventually grow to be a tech lead, manager, and solution architect, enterprise architect. So you are expected to kind of know those aspects also. So you could kind of be ready on those fronts as well. Although an IC role is quite good because a lot of people continue, they don't want to get into the headache of managing a team and all that. They're quite brilliant when it comes to contributing individually. So you could continue that way, but you should be knowing the process, people and technology interfaces that is required for you. And if you're able to impress upon the interview that you actually have these kind of skills, then they will really be saying, okay, this guy is great, he knows, because people want that overall polished essence from your CV, and I'll help you polish that part of it so that it looks more industry relevant. So given these choices, from which one are you more likely to lean against? Is it Node.js, or is it .NET scripting, or Power BI, or Microsoft Automate, or PowerShell scripting? So you, and at your given your experience, don't limit yourself only to being a hardcore programmer. To also shoulder some additional responsibilities, saying that you can actually contribute to project management, project tracking. Of course, as an IC,
Yeah.
you just don't just limit yourself to be a programmer, because people may think that, okay, this guy is, we get fresh talent out of the market, like 5 years, 4 years guys. Why should we pay a very senior guy unless he's also able to shoulder some of the additional tasks and responsibilities, like product.
Mm.
Like if you're able to handle, like if project management is boring, you could take a product management wherein you're responsible for the features in those things, and then you act like the pseudo product owner in India. So of course the team gets requirements from the US, but you could actually translate that to teams in India and then get them to work on those technology bits. So that way you are showing that you can shoulder multiple skill sets. So when you're saying that you're not just a great programmer, you're also a great individual contributor who can shoulder the responsibility of project management to some extent, and also product management. So if you're able to do that in an agile environment, then you become more powerful. Your resume becomes, more, it gains more weight. So you should position like that. Then that way you're indispensable as a person. Like they can not just ignore you. They'll say, okay, this guy comes with all of these kind of great things, so let us take him on board. And not only currently your flavor of the resume looks like you're more of a programmer, deep dive programmer kind of a person, and less of except for the first few lines in your resume, I could see that most of it is like, I've done this, mostly to do with programming. But you need to position and show that you can shoulder additional responsibilities within the company, And one is your mentoring skills. How good are you at mentoring, juniors in the team, for instance? How
Yeah.
you actually enforce some standards or coding guidelines onto them? How you can enforce design guidelines or architecture guidelines? So if you're able to do this, then your resume becomes very powerful, and people will just grab you, like that. So
Hmm.
don't position it only in one sided, although that's what you might like doing, but you should be able to impress upon the employer that you're able to shoulder additional responsibilities when it's required. And that puts you in a different league altogether, makes you more marketable. And so given the choice of so don't also limit yourself to only one platform or anything, because with your experience you could learn any kind of scripting, which are probably in the Microsoft domain, because you're mostly from the VBA background. So probably shell scripting is easier for you to quickly grasp and come to it. Or Microsoft Automate could be another one, or Power BI shell script. All those things you can actually lay your hands on quickly. So don't limit yourself to being only seen as a very senior programmer, but also showcase yourself that you are going to be somebody who the company can trust their product management skills with, to some extent, some project management stuff, mentoring juniors. So if you're able to do this, you'll be very sellable, in the market, and it will give you a lot of industry relevance, and people will want to. So if you can will shape your resume in such a way that these are the things that comes out of it, so that people look at you from these angles also. And if you're able to guide teams to get stuff done on all of these perspectives, I think that will be a good value add. That sounds fine, right, Zipper?
Yeah, yeah. That sounds fine.
Yeah, I mean, you're in alignment with this, right? Or that it's
Yeah, absolutely. I
okay.
agree to that.
Yeah, because I'm telling you the mind of the employers. So I'm telling you how they're going to look at your resume, because they might think that when we can get fresh talent out of the market, why should we get a guy with 20 plus years experience, who's a senior programmer, and is not ready to shoulder other things in the stuff. So if you're able to showcase that kind of points in your stuff, that you've got proven project management, product management skills, and you handle the teams, and bring out that flavor in your resume, you become much more marketable and sellable.
Hmm.
Okay. And I've also got a set of recorded videos that will help you to understand the people, process, technology parts of it, to help you grow into a leader. How do you do stakeholder management, for instance? How do you manage products? What is the difference between a product mindset and a project mindset? How do you mix agile with architecture? How do you use design thinking, innovation in your scheme of things? So if you're able to have all of these kind of things, that makes you quite current and relevant, so that employees cannot simply ignore you. That this guy comes with a well-rounded experience. He's not just straight-jacketed into only one mindset thinking. So he comes with a good, diverse set of skills. We can definitely leverage his experience. So that's the kind of perspective it will come out to.
Okay.
So I think I'll walk you through that course on the side, the Agile Business Leaders course, which has helped many people to get promoted, change jobs, and be industry relevant. So as a part of that, I'll be coaching you and mentoring you also on how you can actually shape up your resume, how you can make things better, and what kind of details you could actually showcase and polish your resume, so that you are in a much comfortable state, and not being only straight-jacketed only into certain roles. So if you can broaden your perspective with those things, you are inviting a lot more invitations to yourself from various companies, and not limiting only to saying that it's a narrow path that I'll follow. So you can join perhaps. And I don't, from your resume, I also don't see much of you being focused only towards market research, or only towards fast consumer moving commodity kind of a company. You could perhaps get into anything where your skills, techno-functional skills, are quite useful. So I'll help you align those kind of things. And I'll also tell you how to, get invitations from potential employers by polishing your resume and your keywords, so that your first page could be the first half page is what you would need to focus mostly on, saying that you are the person who has got a multifaceted skills, and with little polishing on your side, you should be able to leverage your project management experience plus product management experience to a good extent, and that will help you, showcasing that you are a well-rounded person who can actually take up additional responsibilities.
Okay.
Makes sense. Right? So, any
Yeah.
other queries that you have from your side, like typically?
Yeah. I had one additional. I had one question. I do have a lot of freelance experience. So how can I,
Leverage that.
if I want to traverse that particular line as a freelancer, where I um, share my expertise with a with a variety of people, or variety of companies. How do I do that? What platforms are there available that where I can,
Yeah, I think that's a good point.
become a very
Yeah, that is a good point. So, this part of it, if you are looking at progressing your freelance career, there are websites like Elance, Upwork, Guru.com, and I'll share you a couple of them. Wherein, what you'll have to do is you have to create a profile for yourself first, and you'll have to showcase some of your work that you have done for potential clients there, and build up a strong profile. And probably in the initial days, just to do take up some work, even if it's a $200 work or $500 work, some small jobs you take up, and then build your testimonies. So for the first 4 or 5 clients, building testimonies is very important. So you build a good testimonial and saying, okay, Zipper did a great job of coding this particular application. He understood the requirements quite well, and he did
Mhm.
things. So if you're able to do that, I don't know why is my screen shaking too much. So yeah, I think 1 second. So I will just turn this off. Mm, not sure what's going on. Okay, I think it's fine. So not sure. I'm not able to control that. So that should be okay. So basically, you can build up your testimonials that way, and then get some reviews and testimonials from at least your first 5 to 10 clients. And with that portfolio, you pitch for bigger projects from those kind of people. And when the work gets a bit more, then you start hiring 1 or 2 developers on the side, and you manage the front ending, and they will do the side work for you. And that's how you kind of build it slowly. So you can take up those kind of small works initially, and build up a team over a period of time. But you'll have to do the front ending, take the work, take the ownership, and say that you can actually do all of that. And then you can pretty much be in a position that you could take up those kind of responsibilities. So I'll tell you the websites from where you can actually approach those kind of things, so that you are in a good position to actually leverage those kind of. That's another path. That's a totally another path that you can actually take, which gives you a lot of time and freedom. And if you are able to consistently get good projects, then obviously it can buy you good monetary rewards also, so that you don't have to go back to working. You could start your own company on the side as well.
Yeah,
Makes sense, right? So I think
makes sense.
yeah, so that is another path. The first path is like you try to get back into the workforce with those things. This is the other path, which is good and exciting, but it requires initial probably 6 months of effort or a few months of effort to build up your portfolio with zero expectations. So because people will not trust you initially unless you have a portfolio of things and some body of work that you can showcase. And once you can actually do that, then people trust you more. with those kind of skill sets.
Mhm.
Anything else that you would like to ask? Because that's a good point, actually. I totally get your point from where you're coming. The second option is actually quite interesting. If you can make it happen, then you achieved it.
I got a domain actually uh, under my name, but I still not able to figure out the hosting plan or how to go about it. I mean, sort of start a blogging site
Big deal. I'll tell you.
and then
I'll
have a YouTube channel for technical stuff, which I can record and upload as well as blog about it
yes. So you can actually do that. So
and
those,
use Google AdSense or I mean that part is a little hazy for me to earn revenue. What are the different ways to earn revenue using Google AdSense or you get different companies approaching you for putting their ads or doing promotion stuff.
yeah, that is
Uh,
um, that's a long-winded thing. But
mhm.
blogging, you have to. There are so many guys who are already blogging. So there's a lot of. It's a very flooded market if you see that way. Because, but otherwise, what you could initially do is you can showcase your work on GitHub, like in case you got some good projects that you want to do. So open up your GitHub and show that this is the kind of work you've done. Showcase them on your website also. I'll tell you what hosting plans to take and how you can actually,
Yeah, that would be great. Yeah.
so that I'll tell you how to do that. But that is not going to get you in immediate monetary return.
Revenue. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a long game. It's a long game. You have to build it on the side and just constantly keep working on it. It's not like you just do it after 3 months of continuous effort. I didn't go to anything, just leave it. No, it's not going to work like that. You have to have
Mhm.
something that will bring you revenue so that your mind is not focused only on thing. So you should be getting some income from the side, like side job or whatever it is, so that your mind is off. That you should not be. I should not be getting money only from this. And then you do
Yeah.
this hobby, and it should finally over a period of 6 months, 1 year, or something like that. Your hobby should be able to take care of your money part also. What you like doing. So
Yeah.
you should be able to do that. But that takes, as I told you, time, effort, and requires a lot of energy to
Mhm.
continuously post stuff, to give value to your customers. And so you have to deep down narrow down your niche. What exactly are you doing? It's kind of. So let us say you're a VBA kind of person. I know there is a guy who is teaching Excel, and he's a multimillionaire. He teaches only Excel. He teaches only Excel and uploads all Excel videos for the last 15, 20 years. He's been doing that. And
Mhm.
he's got enough money to travel now to different places world over, everything. But he's so focused, so you have to be very focused on what people want. And now he's innovating on stuff like that. He's also teaching Power BI, which is some additional stuff in Excel. Then he's teaching Excel for accountants. Then he's got online offline classes. Then he goes to various countries to teach Excel. He has got his own Excel Academy wherein he records videos and asks people to contribute to join them. Then he's got a group. He's got a mailing list. So all of these things take a lot of time to actually develop, 2 3 years at least minimum
Mhm.
take to grow to at least 6 months to a year is a very good time if you're very very hardworking and stuff like that. But otherwise, minimum 2 to 3 years it would definitely take to build it up. But meanwhile, you should actually have some other sources of income so that
Yeah.
you're not waiting only on this.
Yeah, I agree to that. Yeah, definitely.
So that is typically how it goes on like that. So anything else that you want to uh, clarify for me?
Nothing else.
Right. Okay. So I think with these things, if you keep in mind, you should be able to, leverage your existing skill sets. And I think let me stop the recording right now.